Well, good morning. How is everyone this morning? That sounds really exciting. Uh, for those of you I have not had an opportunity to meet, I'm Richard Stokes. I'm the HR director here for the City of Spring Hill. I want to welcome you to our new employee orientation. The purpose of this meeting is basically to get all of you together and introduce you to not only each other, but to the people who help make the city the successful place that it is. And you have now joined those ranks, and we really appreciate having you with us. I want to start off by having you introduce yourselves because, as I said, many of you work in different departments and you may see each other across the way, but you haven't really had a formal introduction. So why don't we go around the room and introduce ourselves. You people will learn that I'm from a Southern Baptist background, and the minister used to pick on us back in the back because we would be in the back talking and carrying on in church. And so as a result, I tend to do the same. And I kind of pick on those people back in the back and have them start things. So why don't we start back in that back row back there? If you'll just stand and tell us who you are and what department you're with and what your title is, please. Okay. Let's go back over here.
Library Director. Crystal Strange, Library. Rachel Dixon,
Got a mob of library folks up here. What's going on?
This is my own police department. Lionel Earl, Parks and Rec.
Mackenzie Mitchell, Administrative Assistant for Planning.
Paul Menard, Development Inspector.
Deborah Dutcher, Finance Director.
April Gay, City Recorder.
Kathy Lynn, Interim Fire Chief.
We're introducing ourselves.
Dallas Young, Public Works.
All right, thank you. Thank you for introducing yourselves to us. And it's good for me to put a name with faces. I see everybody's name all the time. Sometimes that's good and sometimes that's not, so you need to be aware of that. Again, I'd like to welcome you to the City of Spring Hill. We value what you have to offer, and we think that you will be successful here. All right? At this point, I'd like to bring up someone who really doesn't need any introductions. He is the leader of our city. He is one of the best people you can ever meet. I've only been here 11 months, and I really like him. I really do. And that's our mayor, Mayor Hagman.
Well, Mr. Stokes, I'm honored and humbled, sir. I mean that. Thank you. That's awesome. Thank you. Hey, on the introductions, sir, you said you're what was your introduction? Intern is what exactly?
I work under Lance.
You have a cowboy hat.
No.
Well, hey guys, thank you for coming to this mandatory meeting. And no, I just want to say this: the city of Spring Hill is a city that is evolving for great reasons, evolving to a point where people who work here, people who live here, want to say, "Hey, I work at Spring Hill. Hey, I live in Spring Hill," and they say that with enthusiasm, because it is a city that is well run and well represented. And I just want you guys to know, from the mayor to the other 8 elected officials, so a total of 9, are in it to win it. And win it is to represent a city that is for all the things that I just said. But in addition to that, the city of Spring Hill, your department heads whom you get an opportunity and blessing to work with, are also in it to win it. And they're in it to win it to take care of the city, but also to take care of the people that they get to work with. So whomever it is you direct report to, know that all of those people, all of them, are respectable of your position, whatever it is, and want you to be here. And kudos to all of you that are here, new hires, because you, whatever your skill set is, even if you're an intern and do not have a cowboy hat, whatever your skill set is that you guys, in this world, in this our free country of America, you have choices and you have opportunities to use that skill set to do other things, to go other places, and to be a part of that city or that company, whatever. But you chose freely to come here. And so I applaud you for that choice that you made, because this is a great place to work for the right reasons. So welcome, and I look forward to, as you know, I'm the kind of guy who's a hands-on person, and so I like to visit the different places and just stop in the city, and even go to the police or the fire and say, how was your day today? And so I'm an in-your-face kind of guy in a good way, and just because I respect you, and I again thank you for being a part of this great city. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. And now I'd like to ask our city administrator to come forward with some words. And she has words.
Good morning. First of all, I will echo the comments that have been made here before already, and it's early yet. We really are glad that you're here. We appreciate you choosing Spring Hill to work for. I've been here about a little less than 18 months now, and we have had a tremendous amount of turnover and growth in our city organization and staff. And you are part of that growth, and we value where we're headed, and we value your cooperation and your work ethics and work effort to get us there. I want to talk a little bit about where we're headed, what's going on, and some expectations. So this city, as you may know, is in the top 10 of the fastest growing cities in the country in the 50 to 99 range. All right. We've been in the top 10 more often than not for the last 15 years, which means the growth just hasn't slowed down. At one point, we were the fastest growing city in the country. That ebbs and flows as lots of things do, and depends on how you calculate it. But the reality is our growth is on hyperspeed. And what that means is every single one of us who work for the city have more stuff coming at us faster than we know how to dodge or catch. Okay, so sometimes we're going to get smacked occasionally because we didn't see something coming from the side because we were busy catching over here, right? That's why everybody that we bring to the team is important, because we want to provide the best quality services. Now, if you go to work for XYZ company, and how many of you here have worked in the private sector, even if it was in high school, okay? What was their motive? What was their motivation? What was their big focus? Making money. That's right. Profits, the bottom line. Everything they did was about, does this investment pay off in dividends more than they put in to get back profits for themselves or their shareholders? And along the way, there are many good private sector companies to work for that take good care of their employees along the way. No determination there at all, value judgment there at all. But we have a different responsibility. Our responsibility is to take care of our citizens. Anybody not already on the leadership team have any idea what that number is? Anybody have an idea? Well, let me tell you this. In 2000, in the census, we had a little over 7,000 people. And today, we probably have 56,000 people. We have over 19,000 residential units. Therefore, we have a lot of people to take care of. And they all have way varied demands. This guy worries about whether the trash has been picked up, and this person worries about whether the police shows up on time. These guys want to make sure the ambulance gets there before they die, and these folks want to make sure they're just left alone with no traffic in their way to get them where they want to go. All right? It is our jobs to make all that happen. And our roles are to work side by side with our team members. None of us are doing this alone. So we're working side by side to make sure that we're providing the best quality services with the best attitudes we can. I live over off of Port Royal, and there's 2 stores there. There's a Bojangles and there's a Dunkin' Donuts. The Dunkin' Donuts, I go through in the past and I get, "Morning, can I help you?" I order my order, drive up. I get my order, nothing, and I drive out. I go to Bojangles, and I commonly get this voice that says, "Good morning, can I take your order, please? Order when you're ready." I get my order, and they say, "Thank you. If you'll drive around, we'll have it ready for you." And I get there, and I give it to you, and they're like, "Have a great day. Hope you enjoy." Now, where do you want to go? Do you want to go to Dunkin', or do you want to go to Bojangles? Okay, by the way, I tell you that story because this morning I went to Dunkin'. And I got the sweetest sounding voice that says, "Good morning." I went, "Where am I?" I've never had that. Everybody I met with at Dunkin' this morning was completely different than everybody I'd dealt with before. I was like, oh, I'll come back here again. I like their food. Now I even actually like their service. But I want to be Bojangles. I want us to deliver the best we can with a smile, with a kindness, with a recognition that the folks that we're working for, that we're interacting with, are paying our bills. Okay? Our salaries come from their efforts, whether it's paying their property tax, whether it's paying sales tax when they go to the grocery store, whatever, their efforts are paying our bills. So we need to make sure that we remember that we're kind of working for the bosses, right? Because they elect the guys that sit up here that ultimately will hire me, and you guys all work for me, right? That's the way this form of government works. So if you don't make us collectively look good and they get unhappy with me, they send me down the road. But more importantly, that's not that important, but most importantly, if the citizens aren't happy with these guys, they send these guys down the road. And any of you who wonder what that feels like to have that group turn over a lot, talk to some of these veterans around here who have been through it a few times, okay? Because it's painful. So it is important for me to let you know that we are a team working together for the benefit of the citizens. We work for the board, but we're working to benefit the citizens, okay? There's some expectations to go with that, and I want to talk about 3. 1, I want to talk about the expectation for you to take care of yourself. I want you to take care of yourself safely. I want you to follow the safety rules. I want you to take care of yourself emotionally. Don't let this job get to you, okay? Make sure that you are doing things that are good for you in work and out of work, okay? Don't take this job home with you and let it kill your day, your night. You had a bad day at work? Find a way to shake it off between today, when you leave and when you get home, okay? Take care of yourself. Take care of your families, because there's nothing more important to you than your family. And work should never become a substitute for your family, all right? And we will do our best to support you in that, all right? And then finally, be safe by the way you interact with one another. Be cognizant of the fact that we all bring feelings and concerns and stresses to our daily life, okay? Your studies have shown that if you have friends at work, you're happier at work, okay? So, work to make some friends. That doesn't mean you have to go fishing every night, but work to make some friends, because you'll enjoy that better coming to work. And when you enjoy your work, it doesn't feel like drudgery, all right? Somebody once said, if you do something you love, you'll never work a day in your life. I can promise you, I haven't worked many days in my life. I've been pretty happy with what I've chosen to do and the fact that I get to work in such great places. And I'm thrilled that I'm getting to work with such great folks here in Spring Hill, and I'm thrilled you guys are part of it, all right? And then finally, let me ask you to remember that we are accountable. We are accountable to our public, we are accountable to our board, we are accountable to our bottom line, because those monies come from somebody else's hard work. All right, so when we are tempted to slack off a little bit, or, let something slide because we just don't want to confront it or whatever, know that we're not giving away our money. We're giving away somebody who worked really hard for their money in doing that. All right, and it's important for us to remember that as we try to go forward to do our job every day, because you know what? We don't get to tell everybody yes all the time. Hi, can you do this on my private property because I'm there? No, ma'am, I'm sorry, I can't do that, is the right answer. So it's all, not only do we want to make them happy, we also want to treat everybody fairly, and that means knowing the rules. So that's the accountability that I'm talking about, and it's important for you to know that we'll have your back when you enforce the rules. Absolutely will have your back, all right? So with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Richard. We have lots of things for you to learn today. You may get tired of a lot of talking heads, but trust me, the information that you gain through the day will help make your jobs easier, because you will have been exposed to not just what you do every day, but what everybody does all day, all working on the same team as you're working on. Thank you very much for joining us, and thanks for being at this mandatory meeting.
All right. Personally, I don't consider it a mandatory meeting, even though you were given invitations and you were told to be here. Okay, at this point, I'd like to ask our Assistant City Administrator to come up and have a few words. Dan Allen.
Well, good morning, everybody. Again, we're glad that y'all came to be tortured for a few minutes. So my name is Dan Allen. I am one of the I'm one of the veterans that Pam referenced. This is actually, depending on how you want to count it, I guess I'm in the midst of I guess my third go around with the city. I started, my first engagement with the city was as Assistant City Administrator and Infrastructure Director from 2013 to 2016. Then I went back to the private sector for a while, decided to run for office and was an elected official, won in the 2019 election cycle. And about a year ago, in discussions with Pam, cities needed some help on the water and sewer side. I stepped down from being an alderman and came back to be the Assistant City Administrator again for the third engagement. This time focused primarily on long-range planning for the utilities. So I've seen a lot, and want to echo Ms. Caskey's comments. You know, customer service, citizen service is critically important to what we do, and making sure that we work with our elected officials who are engaging with their constituents and enforcing and providing good service to everyone and doing it in a fair and equitable manner under their direction is that's really what we do if you want to just distill it down. So we appreciate everybody coming to work for the city of Spring Hill. We're glad that you're all here. We know that it's a, you know, from our perspective, it's a bit of a tough market out there in terms of recruiting and hiring and things like that. So we really appreciate all of you making the decision to come here and be part of our team and work with us. It really is an exciting and dynamic place. You are going to get to work on things and be part of things that just aren't happening in a lot of other places around the country. A city of our size working on an interchange project where our city and our staff went out and got a $25 million federal grant to help build an interchange, that just doesn't happen. I mean, there are things that happen in Spring Hill and things that we've been done, and I kind of refer to as, you know, use a boxing analogy, we're punching above our weight class. And, you know, we are very much looking at over $200 million worth of construction projects over the next several years. New, what we're going to call a community services annex, which is going to be kind of development services as well as public works and utilities all combined together in a new facility. There's going to be a new police headquarters that's getting close to starting construction next year. Multiple road projects, lots of big water and sewer projects coming down the pipeline. So the great thing about Spring Hill is with everything going on, you're never going to get bored. And there's going to be plenty of opportunities to help out. But just never forget that why we do what we do is for the people that we serve. So we really appreciate y'all being here. We thank y'all and wish y'all the best of luck. And I'm glad that Richard's, you know, got you good snacks and kept you well fed. So thank you.
All right. And by the way, let me say, if during the course of the presentations, if you have questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Because again, you're not sure what goes on in all the departments. And at this point, we're going to invite our department heads to come up and talk about their departments and what they do. And I'm going to start by talking about what we do in HR. Right now, there are two of us, but we have a third position that will be filled soon, so there will be 3 people in HR in the very near future. Our mission, for the most part, is to help the city find and retain the best qualified candidates for the jobs to work for the city of Spring Hill. And that means, when I talk about retaining, that means making sure that we provide you with the adequate training that you need, that we insure you and keep you safe. So, in HR, whenever there's a workplace injury, we're the people that will be responding to those claims. We're there to help you. We're the benefits people. All of your questions about benefits, can be answered in HR. So I encourage you, please feel free to come by, drop in, say hi, because that's what we're there for, to help you. Right now, we've got a number of projects going on. None of them that'll probably interest you. There are things like we're implementing a new applicant tracking system so that it won't take as long to hire people. I'm sure it took, for many of you, it took a considerable amount of time to get hired and onboarded. But we're hoping that will speed that process up. We're also implementing a new onboarding process. All of you, majority of you had to come to HR and sit down and listen to us tell you about all your benefits and get you to fill out all these forms on your first day. Well, that will now be automated, and many of those tasks will be completed prior to your first day of employment. We are looking into revamping and revising the personnel policies to make them more user-friendly and more accessible. We have implemented a position control system, so that we now have a better idea of how many vacancies we have, which was an issue at one point. Some of those, like I said, many of those things you probably have no interest in, but they benefit the city as a whole. So, but that's who we are in HR. You met Tricia in the back. She is the other HR person currently. And as I said, we will be hiring a third person very soon. All right. Those are the kind of the things we're working on in HR. I'm going to invite our department heads to come up. We've got a schedule, so I don't want to play master of ceremony and have to introduce each of you. So come on up, introduce yourselves, and talk about your departments.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kevin Glenn. I'm the interim fire chief here at Spring Hill Fire Department. We're currently going through the process for a new fire chief. My normal position is deputy chief. We have an office downstairs. Our admin, captain assistant Lisa Burns is down there, myself and the fire chief. Our mission statement at the Spring Hill Fire Department is to protect life and property as we constantly are educating ourselves in the fields of fire education, fire prevention, medical, and rescue procedures. We have 3 stations in the city, 440 Beechcroft Road. Everybody, I tell them it's by the post office. We have a station at 4000 Campbell Station Parkway. That's our fire station 3. And we have a fire station on Port Royal Road, 4237 Port Royal Road. That's fire station 2. We have 61 employees on our team. Each shift has 18 personnel. Our minimum staffing is 13, allows for sick, vacation. 4 apparatus. We have a 100-foot tower truck that is at Station 1. A heavy rescue truck that is at Station 2. It helps cover the parkway. It really covers all the city, but covers the parkway, any accidents on the I-65 that might require extrication. There's also a pumper there. And then Station 3 has a fire engine and our battalion chief. Our battalion chief is in charge of the shift. It's kind of like our shifts, there's 3 shifts. They run from 7 a.m. to 7 a.m. the next day, 24 on, 48 off. That battalion chief is in charge of crew safety, making sure everyone has what they need, and working with admin on getting the mail, delivering supplies, and so forth. I want to welcome you to the team. And when I say team, we're all a team. I'm up here. It's awesome to talk about my department, but whatever department you're in, we're all one team. And if y'all ever need anything, feel free to let us know. We work closely with PD. Tyler in the back, you'll get to meet Director Scroggins from Public Works. we are a team here at Spring Hill, and it's pretty awesome. You'll see the continuity when you get out there. Excited looking for the future. We're working on getting a fast truck. Let me explain the fast truck. We have a 100-foot tower here at Fire Station 1. We respond to medical calls, fires, car wrecks. I mean, the old saying is, when you don't know who to call the fire department. They can figure it out. So that truck is running pretty heavily. So we're working on a fast truck. It'll be a pickup truck that'll have just your basic like medical supplies, and it can handle like lockouts if a kid is locked in a car. And so we're excited about getting that out. Also, I'm excited. The northeast side of the city, which would be the Duplex Road, Buckner Road area, the city 3 or 4 years ago purchased land there for Fire Station 4, and we are working on that. We're getting ready to start selecting architectural firms for design and moving forward with that. So hopefully next year we'll kind of have a plan on that. That area is kind of extended response times for us right now, coming from Campbell Station and Station 1. So we're pretty excited about our Station 4. Also with that, and I don't know if y'all had to order anything lately, manufacturing issues. When we order a fire truck now, it's over 2 years for them to build it. So we have to think way, way, way down the road, and as you know, before we even get there. So the city has approved funds for a new engine 64 for that fire station. I'm pretty excited about. It's on resolution Monday night, so fingers crossed. Dan Allen, Assistant City Administrator Allen, had mentioned the Community Services Annex. We're getting part of that land for a training grounds. Very much needed. We have a small area out at Public Works. If you go in the back of Public Works, we have what we call the playground there. That's our training grounds. We can conduct some live burns, do some extrication and stuff. But we need something a little more conducive, a training tower, some props and stuff. So we're looking forward to that. Pub eds, getting out in the community. They're our customers. I think they had said it earlier. So we do friends and family CPR. We'll go out, do drive-bys for birthdays. We'll have station tours. I mean, you name it, any events here in the city, we're going to be there. So like I said in the beginning, we're a team here. Anything we can do at our department, to help you, please feel free. So we are all together on one mission and moving forward and taking care of our citizens. So I thank you for your time and look forward to working with you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is April Goad. I'm city recorder here. Many of you have probably started within the last couple of weeks or maybe months. The city recently helped me celebrate my 35th anniversary here, so I've been here quite a long time. My position is one in which I work with everybody, and I enjoy that because if you need me, I'm here. I like Chief Glenn's teamwork message because that's true. We are a team. One of my primary duties is to work with the legislative body, which is the Board of Mayor and Aldermen who sit in this room behind me. We have most of our city meetings in this room. What I do is I prepare their agendas and their packets. The department heads will send me resolutions and ordinance. Some I write myself, but most they write. Our city attorney sometimes approve those. And we have meetings 2 times per month, the first Monday and the third Monday. If there's a holiday, we move that to the Tuesday. Another thing I deal with is city records. People always want all kinds of city records, so they come through me. A lot of them are either police records or codes department records. So we coordinate that and get that done. If you're wondering what's going on in the city, it's really easy to watch our meetings live streamed. Our communications department does a great job with that. I coordinate the voting part of that as well as taking notes. You can live stream that, watch it later. You can come to the meetings if you want, but it's really good to get the information directly from the horse's mouth. So that's a good resource so you'll know what's going on. I also work with the finance department, Ms. Dutcher. She's going to tell you all about what we do in the finance department, which is where a lot of the work happens. Everybody in that department works so hard. What I do mostly, I do a lot of interfund transfers and wire transfers. I help Deb, I think, run the department at times. So we have a lot of opportunities for advancement here. Get all the education you can get. We have tuition reimbursement. That's a really cool thing. You should really take advantage of that if you want to. But if you do that, keep learning, and when advancement opportunities come up, you'll be ready for that. So welcome and congratulations on your positions.
Good morning and welcome to everybody. Let me check again. How many of you are new to municipal? About a quarter of you. I came slightly before Richard. I've been here about 14 months. I'm new to municipal, and I feel like I've landed in a very good place. For all the reasons, the Bojangle analogy is a really good one. People are happy to show up to work here. I see Tyler and his people and everybody who's a department head working with the public, whether on the phone, in person, and they enjoy what they're doing, and it shows when they speak to colleagues and speak to citizens. So you've landed in a friendly and good place. I'll list out the stuff we do in the communications department. I'm the director, and we're a huge department. There are two of us. Lori in the back, who right now is taping at least the podium, recording this podium remotely from her computer, which is a good way of introducing you to this functions as the courtroom, as many of you may know. It also functions as a legislative branch of city government. We have about 5 televised streamed meetings, or 4 that go out regularly at regular intervals. And we just upgraded this whole room with new digital cameras, with new mics. This is the floor monitor here where they watch what's going on, and you can see on either sides now what the agenda is and what documents are being discussed. The one thing we have to do is digital name tags. These 1970s fixtures you see with the little slip-in name tags are going to be digital. So I think Spring Hill will probably be in the ranks or above the Franklins and on the way to Nashville. But that brings up a topic. You're here, I'm new to municipal and I love it. You're here not only in a great environment, but at a great time. With Pam and the mayor and the current BOMA, things are really happening. People are being hired, and there's a momentum. And you can see it, how people react to the city. There are always going to be cynics or people with regular human nature who just, nothing's ever right. But I think that you're going to find a populace here that is feeling the effects of city work really and are very positive about it. I'm not going to blow his cover, but I had, as a resident here, as a new resident here, I had the city do a great thing for me. The person who's here responded to a neighborhood where there's this hound dog that would bark from 5 a.m. until 6:30, and all of us are waking up, and the people in the house wouldn't get a clue and take their dog in after it went to the restroom at 5 or 5:30 in the morning. So this person whose cover I won't blow, he's sitting on that side of the office, did a basic important code-related thing and told those people to put their dog inside at 5 in the morning after he's done peeing. He doesn't have to bark and wake up the whole neighborhood. You see 1,000 stories like that in each of your departments where you affect lives of people. When you smile, it's remembered, and the people are starting to smile back. Now, you look at social media, people are not smiling all the time, but that's human nature. Don't let it bug you. We're going in the right direction. Now, really quickly, I'll list off some of the stuff we do. Lori is the guru of the digital part, the graphics part, and a lot of what we do. She's very talented, and she'll help all of your departments, always does. We deal with web content, social media, obviously graphics, which is her domain. If you see those adopt a street signs adopted by Kroger's, she designed that, and all the other, well, it's not up now, but all the large emblems and marketing, if you will, for the city. We produce a staff newsletter, which you'll be in. Variety of events, State of the City, BOMA events, Experience Spring Hill. Numerous writing and editing and scripting projects. We're the eyes and the ears. We're creating a Citizens Academy, which some of you may even be a part of and might want to attend to learn how every aspect of the city works and who does what, as well as the principles of government, what guides us legally. We deal with the media, TV, online, and papers, develop external relationships. I've worked in corporate and in Congress, and we were promoters. I was selling a product at Verizon and doing other things. In the Senate, I was making sure the chairman looked good. Here, I'm essentially what they call a public information officer, a PIO, even though I'm called communications director. We give unfiltered, honest, helpful information based on what you guys are accomplishing and doing. We answer questions, and it kind of makes you feel good at the end of the day. You know, trying to pretend that Senator Schmo was smart during the hearing when he was a total failure and probably drunk is different than delivering a great, and I don't demean Congress, but it's a lot different than making sure that your neighbors and cousins and family are well represented and have the things done well in their city. So feel good about what you're doing. I feel good about it. And speaking of that, I think on Friday, tomorrow, look for a piece on Pam Caskey in the Tennessean. She, in addition to her work here, she's been an adoptive parent. She and her late husband had something like 75 foster kids at different times and ended up creating a family from 4 of them, which happened here with a judge recently when they were all adults. So they're doing a feature on what this local leader is doing in her private time when she's not talking to us at night. She's talking to her new family, just adopted family. So look for that in the Tennessean. Welcome.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome. I'm not the veteran. I've been here about 8 months, so I'm fairly new. But I can tell you it is a great city to work with. The team is great. They support you. It's just a good work environment. I work in the finance department, so my responsibility is to protect the assets of the city and to follow the directives and to enforce the directives of the BOMA. So internal controls are important. Where Pam said that we're not in it to make a profit, that is true, but we are in it to be fiscally responsible and realize that, you know, we should spend our money wisely to help the citizens here. So we are the watchdog department, so we're, you know, all payables and purchase orders and everything go through us. Your department heads are responsible for approving them, but we look at them very closely and just to make sure things are what we expect on the bills. So we've got a front office staff that basically works with all the public. They answer phone calls, they take payments for property taxes and utility bills and court fees and taxes and stuff. So they're a very, very busy department. We're going, like, you know, round the clock, like Pam said, or April said. We're very, very busy department. But we're here if you have any payroll questions. We've got Tracy is our payroll administrator, and she can answer any questions if something is off with your check or if you have a question on that. Obviously, benefits are for HR, but we do payables there, we do receivables, and we do court docket setup for the city recorder, and, you know, a little bit of everything. So we are so excited to have you here. You've made a great choice. This is a great city, and we hope that you enjoy being here as much as we do, and we welcome you to the team. Thank you.
I'm Missy Stahl. I'm the CIP manager, capital improvement project manager. I handle all of the capital projects. I oversee all the capital projects in the city. We just finished Duplex Road widening a couple years ago, the Tom Lund Road widening. We're in the middle of Buckner Lane widening, the new interchange. Casey and I jointly oversee the Harvey Park Greenway. I also oversee all the development bonds for the city, which currently we're sitting at about $58 million of the development bonds. My office is at Public Works. My entire department is me, so my department is much smaller than David's. I have an administrative assistant that I share with Tyler Scroggins, the Public Works Director. I have been here 14 years, so I guess maybe I'm a veteran, not as much veteran as April, but 14 years. I started out in the finance department and was up there for 7, then I've been out at Public Works for 7 as the Public Works project manager out there. I help with the finance department with the budget. I help with pretty much anything. I'm helping the police department right now with their new headquarters. That'll be behind Kingsley Place. We'll be working with the fire department to get theirs up and running. So there's a lot going on, and it's never a dull moment at the city, I can promise you that. I deal with all the contractors and make sure that the pay stays on and they stay on schedule. Not always the best job to tell somebody that they're not going to get their pay because they haven't done their job, but as Pam says, she's got our back. So it is a good city to work for. We have a good staff. Everybody helps each other, so welcome. And if you need anything, I'm out at Public Works in the trailer behind the building. And then Nick's not here, so.
Okay, we're waiting on someone, but why don't we take a quick break, about 10 minutes, stretch your legs, get some more coffee. I think there's some more juice back there. I guess you guys ate all the bagels. And
But I still need to get it. That is right. You guys are under. I haven't been to the library. All the things boxed up for your people to get other apps. Yeah, so I need books. I need lots of books. They include the cardboard ones because they like to chew on them. They learn really quickly. I have a 2-year-old. Oh, that's the right age for okay. Screaming baby and a sleeping baby. All right. We always have that in the library. Screaming and sleeping. Usually they can try to switch off. They switch off. Sometimes they both scream. It's not worse. It's the same thing. We're looking at trying to get a different library or something. Eventually, right? They're putting a daycare, I think, in, or right over here somewhere now. I'm thinking about it. Over here, yeah. I was looking at the wrong room. Where am I? So get this, so we get over to Boston Airfield, and like, oh, we got ribbons. There was a rack and nothing but ribbons. So we take Gatorade and drink about that much, we do a ribbon in that one. Have it all, and that was our drink.
Okay, let's come back together. We're going to continue with our department heads, and I'm going to ask Nick if you would come up.
Good morning. My name is Nick Holdke. I am the IT, I guess, department head-ish, until the new assistant city administrator gets in. We're actually going through a lot of changes right now. So we have a third-party company called VC3 that will be taking over the day-to-day IT things, so password resets, any kind of issues like that. I've got some little handouts. Some of you may already have these, but it basically has their contact information and how to contact them. If you want to take one of these and pass them around, that way you all have one. If you do have a computer, right now there's a little VC3 icon that's down in your taskbar. If you right-click on that, you can create a ticket with them. And these are just all the different available options you have. My role going forward with that, since they handle most of the day-to-day end work stuff, is I will be doing more projects and larger scale things, upgrades, things like that. If you need new user accounts created, I still have the ability to do all that stuff and things like that. But most of that will default to them. If you need something larger scale than that, though, that'll probably be me. There is only me in my department, so that makes it real easy to explain that. Hopefully we'll expand on that. I think we have a couple positions, or at least one I know of, coming up for the police department that will fall under IT. We'll have a lot of different policies coming forward here probably in the next year that we do not currently have in place with retention and acceptable use. We have a small thing in our what's it called? Our company, yeah, there you go, handbook. But we're going to expand on that. Other than that, I don't really have much more. Is there anything else you want me to touch on?
I just have a question.
Okay.
And you may have answered it, but you know, if we needed to order computer equipment.
Yes. Yes, I will handle all the computer ordering. Depending on that, a lot of that may not go from direct contact. Your department heads will probably contact me, which that would be you and that. So, and Pam's wanting me to set up like a 3-tier system. So depending on what you're doing and what your position is, you may get a certain piece of hardware that we already have predictated. So it may be, depending on it, we'll have a tier 1, 2, and 3, and then of course it'll have a little more strength, a little more horsepower per that, depending on what we deem it necessary. I do handle all the cell phones right now as well. So a lot of you have already put in requests for me to add new iPads. So some of you may be seeing iPads. Some of you already have iPads. So some of you I've already met. Some of you may go forward. So, and all new accounts and things like that, we're going to have to, establish more of a better background on that too. So once you know that they're coming in and they're hired, then I can create their account moving forward. Anything else? Oh, one more thing. As of yesterday at 5:30, we have changed our email filtering. We are no longer using Mimecast. We are now on a product called Proofpoint. I will be sending out emails on how you can get to that. So if some of you have noticed already this morning, maybe a slight influx of emails that are like just the garbage mailer emails, I'll be working on some settings with VC3 to try to help shrink those down and try to get it back to about where we were with Mimecast. It should be a little bit easier on releasing things that are put on hold, and there'll be some, I'll have more information as it gets to me. But as of right now, we've already made that change as of 5:30 last night. So some of you have sent me emails saying there's some things that got bounced. That was probably happened during that time period when mail wasn't moving, but all that is taken care of and it's all functioning as intended right now. All right. Thank you. Yeah, Dave. August 1st. As of Monday, VC3 will be live. Well, they're live now, but as of August 1st is when you're actually supposed to start putting in tickets with them. So you got one day. We'll still see you though, right? Yeah, you'll probably see more of me because they'll have me running crazy doing odds and ends stuff. But yes. All right, where are we at with the little, did we have enough? The little handout pieces? They're back there. Okay, Jessica's got them. All right, thanks.
Lower this for us short people. All right. My name is Dana Giroux, and I'm the library director. And this is my 6th year here. And I have to say, this has been my happiest this last year. Things have really been changing at a rapid pace, internally as well as externally. And it's a really good feeling to be here right now. So y'all have picked a great time to join us. It also feels good to be facing out this way at this podium rather than facing that way. So you'll know what I mean someday, probably. So some things to tell you about the library. And we have 3 wonderful staff members here who could probably vouch for all of this. We are not your typical library. So erase everything you have in your memory bank about what your library experience has been. You might find that it's too much because we are a loud, obnoxious, raucous library. We have some quiet time, but it's rare. So come check us out because we are more than books. but we are also about the books. We have print and I'm just going to look over here because you all know this and you all don't, maybe. So we have not only a lot of print resources stuffed into a very tiny building, but we have electronics, so you never have to enter the building if you don't want to, or if you do like peace and quiet. But we are all about the programs, so much so that community libraries that are much bigger than us come to visit and watch us do our programs because they wonder why their patrons come to us. And it's just two people. It's Marcia and Jessica, and they've got some kind of magic secret sauce, and they do programming almost every day for all ages. So even if it's not for you, it might be for somebody in your family. If you have children, your parents, we have something for everybody pretty much weekly. And there's a calendar you can check these things on. So that's to brag on our staff. We are also, I won't say Bojangles, but we are very friendly and warm. And it got so bad during COVID that we were calling patrons to check on them to make sure they were okay. So we are also a social service agency because we don't really we have plenty in our counties, but we haven't said this much, but since Spring Hill serves 2 counties, we sometimes are in the crack, and that can be a good thing and a bad thing. So we will connect you with the place you need to go. So just ask us anything, and our staff are great about that. Some things I wanted to tell you about that we're doing that are different. To give you an example, we're starting a story time on the spectrum. So that will be story time for children and even adults with autism or other spectrum issues that make standard story time or standard programming difficult. We have an inclusive meetup group, so for people with disabilities to come and get comfortable with the library and other social activities. We some things I wanted to point out that you might be interested in as well. We're having a huge book sale this Saturday. It's from 10 until 2, and it's thousands of books. So if you prefer to purchase them, I'm looking at you, Missy. I shouldn't do this because I'm supposed to protect people's privacy, but Missy is one of our favorite patrons. She's there a lot. So she can tell you as much about the library as I can. The other thing I wanted to point out that is different from library is safety. So you'll find this city is very safety conscious, and each department has a representative on the safety committee. And you, if you haven't already, you will be completing safety trainings monthly. Some will pertain to your job and some may not. I hope that you'll take them all to heart and use them in other situations. Some will pertain to your lives at home. But if you have suggestions on things you want to have covered, just let us know. You can contact myself, I'm Dana Giroux, or Mike Bryan, or anyone on your safety committee, any of your representatives in your department on the safety committee, and we'll try to find things that are relevant to your safety needs, because we care and we want you to not only enjoy your job, but to feel comfortable doing it. So that's all I have, unless you have any questions.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Casey Williams, Director of Parks and Recreation for the city. Although I have lived here all my life, I have been with the city for about 10 years altogether, a couple of different areas, but altogether about 10 years. We do have a very long and eloquent mission statement for what we do in Parks and Rec, but at the end of the day, it's all about quality of life. We consider ourselves all the directors of fun, entertainment, providing spaces for the public to enjoy themselves. We all work so much. We want to provide a quality environment for people's downtime when they come home to be with their families or by themselves, to work out, any of those things. So we're very serious about what we do, even though we had a lot of fun doing it. So it's about providing great spaces, also providing great programming. There are 11 of us altogether, 5 of us on the rec side, 6 of us on the park side. We have 5 city parks within the city, altogether a little over 45 acres if you were to add them all up. And to date, we are at just over or just under 11 miles of greenways that we've now constructed. We have a bicycle and greenway plan that the board adopted a few years back. When developers come in and want to build or develop a certain area, if our greenway map shows that there's part of the greenway there, they have to build it and add to it. And we're creating a network of greenways and other to provide another way to get around town than a vehicle, whether it's you want to walk, ride a bike, et cetera. We also include multi-use paths and bike lanes and all of that kind of thing, and that's all a part of the development process. So we're a part of those meetings, and we make sure that we are looking to point out those things so they don't get missed. But it's really an important part of what we do. We also do 11 community events throughout the year. Yes, that's very close to one a month. And yes, I regret it sometimes. It's a lot of work, but we do enjoy it a lot. We have a lot of fun with the people. The people seem to enjoy it. Everybody was so ready to get back out after COVID. We've had good response and participation with things. We have great partners that support us in each of our events that we do. We do have athletic fields at two of our parks that support 3 of our largest local community leagues that altogether have around 2,000 children, families that participate in those leagues, and they play in our parks. So we take care of that for them. Over the past 3 years, we have applied for and been awarded $1.75 million in grants for the Parks and Recreation endeavors, whether it's greenways or park improvements or special programs that we've done. Something we work very hard for and very proud of. We also opened a senior center this year. It's over at the Winchester building, which is over in Evans Park. It's open every day from 10 to 3, and it's for 55 and over, and it's another way that we can touch another demographic and have them be part of our community as well. They represent a large part of our demographic. You know, it's over a third of our demographic is in that age group. And so it's our opportunity to give back to them and take care of them and use some of our time to provide things for them to do, because the more active they stay, the better quality of life they have as well. So that launched in April, and we're still figuring it out. They're still figuring it out, but we're doing good with communication to figure out what are the best things that we can provide for them. We have 4 of our Parks and Rec team members here today. Do I have the most in here? Do I win? You have 3, right? Awesome. Trey, Logan, and what's your name again? Lionel, are on the park side and are out there every day in the heat, working on whatever we need done. Rebecca is one of our recreation assistants, helps me out a lot, plays a huge role at the the senior center, and all of our events. As far as ongoing projects our biggest one, as Missy mentioned earlier, is our Harvey Park Greenway, which will be our longest section of Greenway, like in one stretch. It goes from Harvey Park, which is at the corner of Highway 31 and Miles Johnson Parkway, and you will be able to walk all the way north to Wilkes Lane, which is just short of the Heritage Complex where all the Heritage schools are. So it'll be really incredible when it's done. It's a beautiful pathway in and out of the trees and all of that. So it's really beautiful. We're really excited about it. We're in design right now. Then Missy gets to take over and do what she does best, which is right-of-way acquisition. She's a pro at that. And then we'll move on to construction. We're also now starting up the process for the $650,000 grant we won a year and a half ago. COVID kind of put everything on pause, but now we're getting that started, and that's for park improvements to Fisher Park and the skate park. And then we have a huge event, one of our biggest of the year, coming up in September. It's Camping in the Park. We do an overnight camp out where people can come and camp that are maybe not ready to go out in the wild and kind of rough it on their own, really like the idea of having restrooms and lights nearby, but still get the feel of it. So it's going to be a good time. We're also working on design for the expansion of the skate park. Actually, on Monday, the renderings have come back, and we are launching a survey to put back out to the public again for the second time. Okay, we've taken all your feedback. Here's what we've come up with. What do you think? Let us know what you think. And so once we nail that down, which is what the board charged us to do last year, we'll bring that back to them, and then they can decide where they want to go from there, if they want to fund it and build this expansion or not. So that's kind of us in a nutshell. I have an amazing group of people that I work with. I feel blessed every single day. We enjoy each other. We have fun together. We take care of each other. So it really does feel like family. In some weird ways, but also in some good ways. So we're all really grateful to be here, and we're grateful for you to be here. If there's anything we can ever do to help, we're in a separate building over on Port Royal Road, so even if you need to just take a minute and get away and take a breather, come on over, have a bottle of water, and hang out with us for a minute, and we'll show you around. But other than that, whatever you need, just reach out. We'll be happy to help. Any questions? Awesome. Thanks. Great to meet you all.
Hey, how y'all doing? My name is Calvin Abram, and I am the Development Service Director. And first, I want to tell y'all the most important information. This is what everyone needs to leave. When you leave here today, this is what you need to know. Two most important departments here are HR and finance. They're the ones who hire and cut our checks. So remember, that's most important. All right. It's a tough crowd here, tough crowd. All right, here we go. Yeah. See? Well, anyway, with that being said, again, I am the Director of Development Services. Under Development Services, we have a few departments. One, my right-hand man who gets me in the most trouble of everybody, our city engineer back here, Lance Holdorf, always gets me in trouble, but I appreciate him right there. After Lance Holdorf, we have our building code official, who's Chris Brooks. He's real quiet, so if you see him, you wouldn't know him, because he's real quiet. Then we have our senior planner, who's Peter Hughes. He's not as quiet, but he's a good dude. Development Service Department, I think one of the great things about us, we are an eclectic bunch of people. I mean, and I say this positively and loving. We are a group of nerds and geeks. We go from reading manga to riding bicycles to competitive marksmanship. So, we do it all. So that's the great thing. So if you want a department to, just come kick it with, if you want to lose in a few games of chess or whatnot, or lose some bets and take us to Nelly's, hey, come on down. So, not me, him back there. You clean me out. But anyway, so that's what we are. Now, our mission, really simple mission, really simple, and I have to pair it off Casey, because, really simple mission. It's to improve the quality of life for our residents, business community, and stakeholders. First two is real simple. Residents, you know what the residents are, the people who live here. Real simple. Business community, people who got a business here. But stakeholders, that's the bigger one. Stakeholders is the broad everyone else. And we are part of the everyone else. We work here, we provide information to others, we work to make certain things are successful or move forward in the best manner within the city of Spring Hill. Now, when it comes to the Development Services Department, I have to admit I am biased. I'm really biased. I believe, although all the departments are great, some have a little more edge than others. Development Service, we're the coolest department. We're the coolest. With that being said, however, we, the Development Service Department, we cannot be successful. We will not be successful if you're not successful. So typically, we hear things, you'll hear leadership says this or leadership says that. Leadership may have a overarching or a macro idea or the large scale idea of what's happening within the city, how it's reported. It can come from a biased perspective. And what leadership essentially does is, hey, this is the problem. This is we want the problem resolved. This is one of the solutions we'll like. And that's it. So it's from the department heads to figure out how can we implement these ideas that's coming from leadership, our elected officials, which is our Board of Mayor and Aldermen, as well as our mayor, and how can we accomplish these tasks or goals successfully. From the leadership, the only way we can figure this out is by working with staff, those who are on the ground doing the hard work. And I'll say, for instance, when we look at development, we look at maintaining development, we look at aesthetics, which is beautification, because I think that's what most people see. When they go outside, they look and see the grass is not cut. They see the grass is not cut, trash on the ground. The first thing they may think is, it's not the best city. It's not where I want to be. Therefore, when we have our maintenance crews who are cutting grass, they're driving and they're, one, keeping the city beautiful, but they're reporting back to their supervisors who are reporting to leadership, hey, I saw this yard, this grass is 6 feet high. You know, they're growing hay out here, but it's a residential area. I don't think that's supposed to be over there. Or they see a detention pond. It was like, that detention pond is holding water for weeks. Something's not right here. So they're going to report that back to the applicable department, or who they're going to take it to their supervisor, and the supervisor is going to share it, which ultimately goes up the chain. You may get a talk, have a conversation with your supervisor, but that information is extremely important. Same difference with development services. Infrastructure is the thing that nobody sees. Nobody knows what infrastructure is unless you're in development. You know, you just don't know what it is. So, for instance, where we're looking at stormwater, or MS4, when we're looking things as of that, sewer and water, people on the street doesn't know. They see a pool of water over a road or a pool of water on a property, but they don't know why. So therefore, when we have our maintenance workers out who's potentially fixing potholes or seeing things like that, they'll report it to their supervisor, and their supervisor will work with leadership and say, this is what the issues are, and we have to address it. Why is that important to development services? We get zoning applications, which are site plan applications. If someone wants to come in and build a house, they want to start a business. However, to start that business, they need the appropriate infrastructure to be successful. Why is that important to us? It's important to us because there's a difference between them providing just the right amount of infrastructure to their development versus there is a potential issue that nobody sees that has to be addressed that would hurt them in terms of capacity of where they can be located. So with that being said, that's why we look at everyone, and everyone is really important. Now, outside of that, as I identified again, development and service, I think we're the coolest department. You got this guy right here in the front. He likes to joke a little bit. He's real cool. He's new. I guess because he's here. It's clear he's new. So anyway, we're cool. I think, again, one thing that we're trying to do is I don't recognize most people in this room. I don't even recognize the chief of police right there. He hadn't pulled me over there, but I know he's the chief of police. So, I apologize. I apologize. So, but anyway, I think with that being said, that's the low down and dirty. I had to get into the little boring things at first. But when we look at the hierarchy or our organizational chart and development services, I think Lance has a couple of positions he's hiring for. So if you know any engineers out there, you may want to reach out to Lance because he is hiring. And Tyler, I got to put him on front too. Tyler's hiring an engineer too. However, Lance has his development inspectors. He has 5 development inspectors as part of our budget, and 1 alone, so it gives us 6. He has an engineering and training, and he has a an engineer intern, is that right? Engineer intern as part of his crew. So that gives him about 8 staff that he has or will have. We look at building codes, that's permitting as well. He has 3 building inspectors, 2 code enforcement officials, and 2 administrative assistants. So that gives him about 7. And planning, I have a senior planner, associate planner, a planning tech, administrative assistant. I'm hiring an associate planner. So if you know any planners, anyone with degrees in urban planning, community development, please reach out to me. And if they coming from you, give me your card. Y'all don't have cards. Well, give me your name. If they coming from you, we see their application, I'll say, yeah, they're a good hire. Okay, anyway, with that being said, so that's where our staff is. We're still hiring. Development services growing. But at the end of the day, just remember, the most important things that development services provide, we can tell you about some good manga to read. We can show you where the library is. We can also, well, Lance probably can beat you in chess. Now, take him up on that now. If you don't believe it, I would beat him in chess. Please, anyone, and I'm going to put this out right now, anyone who beats Lance in chess within the next 30 days, I got your lunch at Nellie's. I'm on record here. Am I being recorded? I'm on record. Beat Lance in chess, next 30 days. Okay, 3 people, only 3 people. I can only afford 3 people. 3 people beat Lance in chess. I want you to beat Lance in chess, so he'll be quiet. And Nellie's on me. Nellie's on me. Yeah, so only 3. So, no, I mean, at Nellie's, you can get a slice. They got this stuffed crust, and they got some great lasagna. And anyway, with that being said, just remember that, or if you want to talk about manga, really good manga, or even Japanese or Chinese culture, that's your woman right there, Kenzie Mitchell. That's your woman. If you want to talk about breaking concrete canoes, that's your guy right there, Scott. Cole Scott. See, they changed his name. It was Scott T. Cole. So anyway, if you want to break some concrete canoes, that's the man to talk about. But with that being said, I said a lot. My time is short. Anyone got any questions? If you don't have any questions, I'm going to make some up for you. Yes, sir. Manga? Oh. Well, manga is only the greatest reading that you can get in. Okay, manga is. Yeah, manga is. People who aren't familiar with it would call it comic books or graphic novels. They have light novels that are like normal books, 200-300 pages, or if you like pictures, comic books, they have those. The only difference is rather than reading left to right, you read them right to left. So yeah, see, look at that. See, Kenzie, that's why me and Kenzie vibe so much. So, but anyway, but manga's only the greatest reading out there. Well, we like food too. We talk food too. Yes, Jake cans. I think Kenzie may teeter in it a little bit, but Jake, our associate planner, he's the truth with it. He makes some strawberry rhubarb. Kenzie makes some blueberry muffins, and what's the other thing you made? They're to die for. So anyway, any questions? Anything else? My bad, I forgot that. I got kind of, I didn't write my stuff down. Not HR, no. But in planning, what we do is we accept particular applications for zoning and land use. We review those applications to identify what development can be in what particular areas, what type of infrastructure and when those developments can be built or where they can be built. Our city engineer looks over construction engineering plans to make certain the hydraulics and hydrology is accurate, and also any other engineering portions of it is accurate. Planning, we look at the layout, land use, where they should be, how they tie into not only the site itself, but the community or the city as a whole. We go before the Planning Commission, the Board of Mayor and Aldermen, the Board of Zoning Appeals, and soon it would be the Building and Codes Appeal. So we go before all of those. The Development and Service Department is a department in which you need the ability to publicly speak. Communication is extremely important through all departments. However, within the Development and Services Department, if your communication is lacking, you may struggle a little bit. So hence why you see, if I don't have anything written down, I'll talk your ears off. So that's it? We good? And that's, oh, I forgot, we got Jimmy over here, codes official, good guy. If you want to know the history of Spring Hill, he's definitely the man to talk to. Tell you some good places to go eat to. We good? All right, thank y'all.
Hey, good morning. First of all, Calvin doesn't know what cool is. He has no idea. Cool department is if you're going to lunch and Main Street is backed up, you got to sit in traffic. We got lights and sirens. We turn our lights and sirens on. We pass everybody. We get to the restaurant quicker. And then you run inside like there's an emergency and you get to sit down. So that's cool. So, do what? Well, yeah, okay. Sorry for the distraction. Anyway, I'm Don Bright, Chief of Police for the Police Department. Started my career in 1993 with the Columbia Police Department, came to Spring Hill in 2007, and was appointed Chief in 2010. Presently, we have 94, I wish we had 94, 74 budgeted positions. We do have 10 vacant positions we're trying to fill right now. We have 3 divisions, your standard patrol division, CID, detectives, and our support and training. Our headquarters is off Kedron Road at Royal Park Boulevard. Downstairs, you may notice we have a police department. That's where our training and evidence and records division is. It was mentioned we're building a new headquarters. We're in the design phase right now. It's on Port Royal behind Kroger's. There's 40 acres. The developer donated 5 acres to the city to build a police department. So our guesstimation is hopefully we can break ground in January, February, March, and a year and a half, hopefully we'll be moved in if the supplies, as long as we don't run out of concrete and steel. Right now we have a population of about 56,000 people. When I came here, I think we were roughly about 27,000, and so we have grown potentially. And when you talk about growth, it affects every department, not just the police department here in the city. Our calls of service, we average about 60,000 calls of service each year. That includes traffic stops, officer initiated, and actual calls of service. As mentioned, you realize we're divided into 2 counties, Williamson and Murray County. For the police department, if you live on the Williamson County side or you're on the Williamson County side and we happen to have contact with you and you're issued a citation or go to jail, you go to jail on the Williamson side and just opposite on the Murray. So it depends on where the infraction occurred, whether you go to the Williamson or the Murray County Jail. Our city court is citywide, so it doesn't matter any infraction, you'll go to city court here in City Hall. One thing I just want to mention, how many of you have not worked for government ever? Okay. Reason I bring that up, government and the private sector, they are different. You work for people that pay taxes. And their expectations for government workers are going to be a lot different than when you work on the private sector. And they're going to expect and demand more from you because they're taxpayers. If you drive a city vehicle, just remind you to wear your seatbelt, don't talk on your cell phone, not only is it against the law, but people will call and complain on you because they see your city logo on the side of the vehicle and they're wondering, if we can't do it, why can a government personnel do it? So just throwing that out to you. Also, when you deal with the citizens, we do have sovereign citizens. If you're familiar with those, they're people that feel that the government does not have any control over them. They don't have to have a license plate. They don't have to pay taxes, and they will definitely treat you different. Matter of fact, they'll stand off to you. For those of you in the water department, if you go to cut off people's water, you're probably going to have a confrontation out in the yard because you're cutting their water off. So when you do have these confrontations, just be mindful, be professional, call your supervisor, and if it involves the police department, just call us because this does happen. Yeah, I think that's about everything. Anybody got questions? Lunch? No, not yet.
Good morning. My name is Tyler Scroggins, the Public Works Director. Public Works, they touch a lot of departments. I think we have some kind of interaction with every department throughout the city, from helping with facilities to working on vehicles for the departments to events. We do it all. Callie, just to go off basically what everybody else said, I mean, our biggest thing, what we want for the citizens is to make everything as easy and perfect for the citizens. We receive a lot of requests and complaints. Unfortunately, we can't get everything in a timely manner as we should, just because of the amount that we get in, but we do address everything. The departments that I have, streets, we have brush pickup, we have grass bags, we have concrete, we have asphalt, signal signs, a lot. Any kind of mowing. Stormwater. Stormwater, we have 2 inspectors that help with stormwater, and then basically the maintenance crew as well. They do a variety of different things in the stormwater department. They help with streets as well. I heard Calvin talking about bird bass, spots in the road that holds water. These guys are the ones that fix it. Facilities is basically any building that the city has. We have a group of guys that go around to take care of any problems or anything that's going on with the building. Mechanic shop. So I think everybody's got a vehicle probably that's set in here that's the city owned, or the department does. It comes to the Public Works office, which we have 3 mechanics that will work on the vehicle. And then I share some duties with Casey on the parks. We help with some of the maintenance and some of that. I have 59 employees out of all the departments. Some of the projects that we're working on now is traffic calming. If you guys have been here for the last month at least, you probably heard something about traffic calming. That is a hot topic right now. We're also working on signal upgrades. Highway 31, don't use it. You will sit in line for a while. We're working on some of the upgrades to that to connect it to fiber. Fiber will help all the red lights work together and communicate with one another. Here at City Hall, we're working on putting control access doors. Basically, everybody here should, at one point or sometime, will be getting badges. And these badges will be your way into this building through the back doors to get back to HR or any other facility. Also, we are working on several paving projects. Our end years from July to July. Every year I have to carry a list of roads to the board for their approval to which ones we're going to pave. Some of the ones we've done last year, we did the crossings, Port Royal Road, and a few neighborhoods as well. And then we have sidewalk. Missy oversees some of the sidewalk program. Basically, you can submit for areas that you see a connectivity needs to be at. Public Works goes out and basically digs it and pours it for the connectivity. That's pretty quick, but does anybody have any questions? All right, thank you.
Last person before lunch, but it's not here. So hopefully I don't have to ad lib for too long. You want me to stretch? So I'm your utilities director. I have been here a little over 7 years. I originally started my career in finance, and I stayed in finance for about 10 years and then went into the government sector. So I've had private sector knowledge of some of the ways that corporate America works, and then I've been in government work for longer than I want to admit because that tells my age. I handle all the things that are utility related: water, sewer, wastewater, distribution. So we've got a couple of people here from our department. Yay, we had 2 people that started, which we're really excited that you all decided to come along the board. As far as what we handle, what we do, our mission is to clean water. So people don't think about that when you think about sewer and wastewater, but when that goes down the pipe, somebody has to take care of it before it goes to the streams, and then Casey gets it in the parks with people screaming that they've got turds floating with them. So we don't really want that. So we try to make sure that we get that as clean as we possibly can before we send it on down the stream and people go fishing in that. And Tyler gets to work with the bridges and all those things that are going over the streams. And but you think about
one that we have quite often. If you all visit Public Works after the first 90 days right now while it's closed, you'll see this. There are people that actually fish exactly where the wastewater comes out. So that's always quite interesting when they take those home and have dinner. But we do clean the water quite well for that. So we are very, very cautious of what we put in our streams, because we know that people actually fish right literally where that outfall is. Part of our major projects that we're about to start, so within our water treatment facility, with the growth that everybody's been talking about with the city, you know, we've got 56,000 people population roughly. That has a higher demand for water usage and sewer. So we have to expand our water treatment facility. So we're going right now, we've got a design for 4 million gallons a day is what we are designed to produce. We have been pushing 5 million gallons through the water plant. We have a permit for 6 million gallons from the state. So we are going to increase the total ability of our water treatment plant to go to 6 million gallons in the next couple of years. Along with that, we have presented to the state to do a reuse program. Direct and indirect options have been presented. The indirect reuse is what we're looking at. So that incorporates like purple pipe. I know, has anybody heard of what purple pipe is? It's where you use that for irrigation instead of using your fresh drinking water. So we're working on that with the state. And then as well as everybody flushes the toilets a little extra, that means that we also have to make sure that we can treat more of the wastewater. So we are going to have to expand our wastewater treatment facility. But to do that, we have to kick Tyler's department out of the wastewater facility, because that's exactly where the wastewater plant has to expand. And it's not something we can actually move to a different location. So we've got a community services annex that is another major capital project that's about to come on board. We're looking at the land acquisition going on to BOMA's next BOMA meeting. I think they're talking about where we can physically put the community services people, which includes myself. So wherever we find that land and land that, then we'll be able to expand the wastewater plant onto that property. So it's a lot of moving parts and a lot of changes and a lot of things going on all at one time. Dan and I have been working pretty diligently with the state in the last few months to get onto a pilot program to take and bring some of the newest technologies that are in the country to us. Some of these things have already been done in California for 20 and 30 years, so it's not like newest to the country, but it is new for our state. Same thing with Florida and Georgia, and all those have reuse programs. So we're hopeful that we'll be able to get onto that pilot program soon. Let's see, what else do I have that I can stretch this for? We have about 38 people right now. We've got 4 vacant positions open, potentially 2 more in the next few months that'll be posted online. So if you know people, you've got friends that want to come, it's kind of some odd jobs. Water and sewer is not something that people really think about, but we have a good time, and I think we have a great crew. So welcome to the city, and with that, I think lunch just got here, so I'm wrapped up.
All right, perfect timing. Thank you. Okay, well, again, I want to reemphasize the fact that your being here, benefits us here at the city. You bring value to what we do. We appreciate you, and we hope that you will have a long tenure here with the city. As Jessica mentioned, our lunch has just arrived. Please eat lunch. Yeah, don't want to waste money by buying lunch and you don't eat it. So please grab something. You're welcome to stay here and eat, or if you have to go back to your locations, we understand. But please enjoy lunch. And again, welcome to the city of Spring Hill. Thank you.